Welcome back, everyone, to the Dirt X podcast, episode 4, presented by Diecast Deals. I'm Jacob Dove of Phenom Motorsports, along with Jacob Perry of CushnBangn. On today's episode, we'll be covering the recent Word of Outlaws Real American Beer Late Models results from this past weekend in Georgia, where I was there at Needmore Speedway, and they also raced at Sonoya Raceway. We also will cover the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Models returning to Knoxville, a big sprint car track with some fender cars coming into town. We'll also cover some sprint car silly season rumors and some other questionable tweets that Jacob has put together. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll get to our episode right after this message.
Oh man, Dirt X Podcast is proudly presented by DirtDiecastDeals.com. Use code DirtX at checkout for 5% off, and please stay green.
All right, so starting it off, this past Friday, I went to Needmore Speedway in Norman Park, Georgia for the Word of Outlaws. Coming to town, it was definitely started out kind of skeptical about everything. I don't know. Me and my dad got there really early on, walked around the pits. It seemed like the pits were really empty for some reason. I don't know why, but talked to some of the people around the area. Visited Scotty from Dirt King Apparel, one of our good friends, selling Drake Troutman's merch, and didn't seem like there was going to be that good of a crowd, which was kind of disappointing because the Outlaws haven't been to that racetrack since 2011. But then all of a sudden, people must have got off work, and then they came flooding in. Record crowd. Got 25 late models that showed up. There was 2 other classes that were running, but still a great night of racing. And I think a lot of people were surprised on that red dirt clay how good the racing was. Obviously, Nick Hoffman picked up the win. Anybody who knows me, I'm a big Nick Hoffman fan, so I was really happy for him. But CushnBangn, I know you were watching on TV. How did the race look from your standpoint?
So that makes 2 of us. I've been a huge Hoffman fan for ever since he dominated around here in modifieds. Met him a few times. He's a great guy. He's hard not to like at times. I didn't mind it. I love to see it. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember a lot that happened in that race. You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
Yeah, so it seemed like Bobby Pierce was doing pretty well early on. He got the Quick Time Award, and a lot of people have been questionable about if Bobby can run on the southern dirt tracks on the red clay, and seemed like he was doing strong. But throughout the heat races, it seemed like Hoffman and T Mac were the favorites, which was kind of surprising because those guys don't really come from southern dirt tracks. So Hoffman was able to get around T Mac. And then in lap traffic, it seemed like he might lose the lead there towards the end. Bobby Pierce was starting to come through lap traffic there. Nick was kind of stuck behind 2 lap cars in front of him, didn't really have anywhere to go. I was kind of closing my eyes, hoping that Bobby wouldn't come around there and steal the win from him.
Yeah, I remember Bobby coming on strong toward the end, and I was nervous too. I mean, classic Bobby at that point. There's 2 people. If you're leading the race, you don't want behind you. It's either RTJ or Bobby late in the race because they're both have the best system for tires, it seems like, and they both can just beat the shit out of the car the last 10 laps and catch anybody in the nation. So, but that track caters Nick, and he kind of hinted toward that too. Nick has always been a momentum racer. I think that's why the partnership between him and Davenport are going to work so well in the future too, because they both drive very similar as far as carrying momentum and everything of that nature. So that track fit Nick, and he got the job done. Brand new car. I think the boys just got it done, so he went there in a fresh car, fresh everything, and got the dub. Shitbox Nation, stand up.
Hell yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was definitely pumped. I know me and my dad went straight to the gas station down the road and got some Nos Energy drinks to keep us awake for the ride home. But definitely was a great time. I wanted to give a shout out to all the people who stopped by and recognized me from my silly videos on TikTok and Instagram and all that. So really appreciated that. Especially Ethan Dotson picked up a new shirt. He recognized me from some of my skits, and I appreciated him giving me a shout out and telling me that I do a good job. And maybe we can get a guest on. I don't know. Drop a comment below if you want to see Ethan Dotson join us. I think they'd be a good guest.
Let's do it.
And moving on to the following night on Saturday, they would go up north, head to Sonoya, Georgia, and Ashton Winger would end up picking up the win in his home state. I know it's been kind of a up and down season for Winger. He dropped off the tour kind of midway through the season and has kind of been running pick and choose, but definitely one of his strong suits running in his home state. We have to talk about this post race celebration. I mean, he comes out of the car, he's all jacked up, smashes two beer cans against his head, gets up on top of the car, and then almost falls off and catches himself. I don't know if you've seen this video, cushion
Yeah.
banging, but it was definitely funny.
So back when he ran to Helter, what was it, 2 seasons ago? My wife just as big of a race fan as I am, so she would love when he would win because he'd come out and have one of the best celebrations, right? I feel like that's a lost art in this sport. The same guys that get out and win every time don't have that good of a celebration, and I applaud the guys that try to keep it there because that's a fan experience too, especially if you're there in person. But Winger will never disappoint in victory lane, no matter what it is. But let's backtrack a little bit here. So we just got done talking about Nick, brand new car, everything like that. Nick goes here, okay, heat race, okay, qualifying, and makes the wrong tire choice and hits the elevator downwards. I mean, in a freaking hurry. So Nick completely gets waxed. Bobby gets his ass stomped too. As soon as the feature rolled out and Ashton said that Clanton is on a 3, I said, oh boy, we're going to be in for some fireworks here. And the fireworks happened early, and then Winger gets out and gets gone. And if my memory serves me correctly, I texted you and I sent the Vin Diesel gif, and I said, "Too soon, Junior." I'd figured Ashton would burn his tires off. It's just how he is, man. He's on the throttle, and wouldn't have it any other way. But I thought for sure that it was a long race, and you were going to see, the cream rise to the top a little bit. I thought Hoffman would start making a comeback and everything like that. It never happened. Even on the restarts, there was 2 late cautions, if my memory serves me correctly, and I thought, okay, this is where Ashton's going to get got, and didn't happen. But I think you add him to the list, right? Death, taxes, and Winger at Sonoya. You got who else? I mean, you got Marlar at Ponderosa. That's unstoppable. You got you're gonna help me out here. You got the Moore brothers up in where's Ohio somewhere. Unstoppable, hard to beat. Every driver has their favorite track, and a few of them you just cannot beat them there.
Speaking of a driver who was dominant this weekend, we can't forget about the Mars series. They had some solid cars show up. And well, you're an Illinois guy, so you're a fan of Jason Fager, and he ended up sweeping the Corn State Nationals at Davenport
Yep.
Speedway this past weekend. So yeah, let's talk about that because there were some people disappointed with this race. They thought it was going to be a little bit more racy. They were mostly racing the top line.
Yeah, so I was more focused kind of on these races, obviously for a little bit of local touch and everything else like that, but especially in Davenport, not so much Quincy, but in Davenport, they had an absolutely stacked field. You had both the Simpson brothers, Bab went, Fager went, Unzicker went, all your Mars regulars, plus a few sprinkle-ins. I think Michael Leach went up there. Like
Yep.
he's the modern day Jackie Boggs, man. You never know where the fuck he's going to show up at. I mean, he's from what is it, North Dakota or some shit?
Come on, get it right. It's
What?
Montana now. He's gonna get offended.
Yeah, same. I didn't even know that's still a state. Anyway, yeah, I mean, he randomly shows up in Davenport. I'm like, okay. But yeah, stacked field. Here's the thing, and Davenport, I'll go out on a limb here. It's a top 5 track in the country to me. The racing rarely disappoints. They are completely efficient and on point. I mean, they have one heat pulling off, the other one's getting ready to take the green. So I mean, you can bust out a 4-class show here by 9:30. You're in the car on the way home. So it's a phenomenal facility, phenomenal just racetrack overall, and produces great racing too. So I was excited to watch this. This might be, in my memory, the only time I've ever seen Davenport take rubber. So they get a couple freebies in my eyes. So they've done their job the whole year. It's late in the year. They probably need to throw some new dirt on, or till it down to the damn ground. I don't know, but I'm not a track guy. But yeah, definitely something needs to change. It's late in the year. It's been abused, but they get a get out of jail free card. As far as that, Fager wasn't the strongest all race, but he got out in front and on a late restart, I think, and the rubber hit. That's game over. So as far as Quincy, decent show. That's probably the most overlooked track on the Mars schedule. I think it's a fun little bull ring. doesn't it's not very wide, so it's kind of technical in a way. Tony Jackson Jr. showed up, and I was really looking. Don't get me wrong, Fager's a bull ring guy, but when it comes to a short, just throttle bull ring, Unzicker's hard to beat. That's why he does so good in St. Louis. He does so good at Macon. He does, the little tight, throw him down tracks. And Unzicker was strong, and he got a flat tire, and I think took him out of this one or the one in Downport. I can't remember fully, but Tony Jackson Jr. surprised the shit out of me, and was the fastest car there, both Unzicker and Fager. So
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it seems like Tony Jackson Jr. maybe a couple years ago, one of the top competitors in late models, and he's not a
Mhm.
guy that goes out and runs the World of Outlaws or the Lucas, but he can show up and compete at this type of regional series, especially with the type of guys that are showing up. You expected Jason Fager to come in off of 2 wins in a row and just show up to Quincy and win again, but it
Yeah,
was definitely exciting to see somebody else win other than him.
absolutely. And you can't say like uh, what's the word I want to use here? You can't say Fager just goes out and stomps them every week. No, he's got to fight for every one of those features, and he's passing cars to win them. So it's not like he's 3/10 faster than the rest of the field most of the time. He's still fighting to win those, and it does make it entertaining. But man, he's had a hell of a year. So I hope, man, I hope and I pray. I don't think it'll happen, but I hope he goes on a national series next year because I think he can contend. And but man, it takes a hell of a bankroll and when the big boys do come into town, he didn't perform that well, but I mean, he's had a hell of a year, so I'm curious to see what happens for next year.
Moving forward to this weekend, we got the Lucas Dirt coming back to Knoxville Raceway, the sprint car capital of the world. Got some fenders showing up. I know a little bit of people online have been making comments about, it's a sprint car track only and it doesn't have the best racing, blah blah blah. But it's still Knoxville.
Brian
It's a sprint
Burkhofer says
race.
you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of people online talking about it. I mean, it's still Knoxville. It's a prestigious track. It's not a crown jewel race, but last year we seen one lane around the bottom on the berm. What are some drivers you looking forward this weekend that might have a chance at maybe shaking it up on a track like this that might not be able to do a lot of passing?
Marlar. Marlar needs to be top of your list here. I think he's going to be your key. I think it's easily forgotten about. He's won three of these already. So he is very fast here. Tyler Bruning was great here last year. And once again, it came down to tires, and he's not good about keeping tires under him. And I think he ended up getting beat. You can't count out Ricky here. You can't count out your normal guys here. Davenport hates this place, so we're going to see. It's going to be fun. I think last year he about rolled it by himself, and then had the infamous interview. This place is a dump. Well, that's one of the best facilities in America, so he quickly got some fire for that. But I think going in, Marlar's the pick, man. Back with
Yeah,
Ronnie Delk this weekend, right?
yeah, no more Skyline for Marlar, so will be interesting to
Bluehorn's
see.
back.
Yeah. And if anyone watched Feature last year, another guy that might be good again this weekend is Max Blair. He about won the damn thing last year until he made one small mistake on the bottom, slipped up, and another guy like Bishop could come and swipe in with the Rocket One. He's been picking it up lately, so you never know. Mark Richards might have something dialed in for him.
Yeah, so Rockets have always kind of shined at this race, and man, I might get punched in the face for this, but I was Mikey still in that rocket when he won the first one? He might have been. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But this I view this track to the late models. I'm going to catch some heat for this, but this is a bigger, more exaggerated East Bay. Long straightaways. The car doesn't turn in the corners. You have to throttle it and you have to drive it hard. But it's just a big East Bay. And what cars shine best at East Bay?
Rocket.
Rockets. There it is. Throttle and go, baby. So I hope Turbo shows up because I think Turbo has a shot here. I think anybody that's had a run, a good rocket year has a shot here. This track is built for them.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up my old home track of East Bay because if there's anything between Knoxville and East Bay, at least East Bay has some passing. So moving on to some sprint car stuff. I know CushnBangn just loves talking about open wheel content, but we had new winners this past weekend at Lernerville in Pennsylvania with the High Limit Series. Got their first High Limit win. We saw Tanner Thorson get his first win finally after so many tries. And then the following night, Dason personally getting the win. Lernerville is definitely a technical track. You don't want to fall off the banking there and go off the track, and your night might be done. Um, what are your thoughts on seeing two new sprint car drivers get their first win?
Man, I'm stoked for Tanner. I'll be nice with pushing the flips for a little bit because I love Tanner. Tanner Thorson's my guy. If you had that heart and soul pick that we all do, Tanner is me. He's a man's man. He's not filtered. He's not a complete dick. But he's not afraid to express himself, and he's worked his ass off, and he's earned every bit of this. I think his notebook from the last time they were here recently came into play here too. You haven't seen a guy like Tanner or like name a you're better at this than me. I'm just going off my memory, but a guy that could run the bottom that well in sprints. I feel like when you watch sprint cars, it's a middle exit high. It's a momentum thing, right? And to see a
Mhm.
guy that disciplined and will live and die by the sword on the bottom, and that's Tanner. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Shotzi, maybe the last one I can kind of think of.
Yeah, prime shots. Even Lance DeWeese, when he was in the Kreitz 69K in Pennsylvania, he was always a bottom feeder. Yeah, Tanner just drives the piss out of the car. He's one of those gasser guys. He works on his own stuff, so he doesn't care if he punishes the car because he knows he's going to be the one fixing it along with his crew chief and his crew guys. So, yeah, definitely shout out to Tanner for getting that win. I know he was pumped.
Yeah, please. I'm not trying to overshadow Dason here either. I
Mhm.
love seeing these midget guys come up and get it done, man. I give push and flips a lot of shit. I do pay attention to midgets more so. I do like them more. And I love seeing these guys come through the ranks and get it done. And once again, he's had a light switch of a year. It's either off or on, and I'm glad to see him in victory lane as well.
Seems like it's been a heated summer. A lot of drivers have been getting on each other's nerves, not really getting along with each other. We had Aaron Reutzel, a guy that's been kind of the villain. He's played the villain in sprint car racing here for the past couple of years or so. A lot of fans
Mhm.
booing him. Make contact with Cy Lynch over the weekend at Lernerville. Obviously, Lernerville is one of Cy's home tracks. A lot of Lynch fans there. Um, Definitely not a guy you want to run into, that's for sure. Cy, he's a pretty laid back guy. We've had him on our other podcasts as well, and he's pretty down to earth. And with a dad like his, Ed Lynch Jr., he was very established in sprint cars. Went after the fact on the caution, jumped over Reitzel's right rear and broke his shock. Obviously, he was disqualified for the rest of the night. What are your thoughts on this? We see more retaliation like this under caution.
I don't like it, and to go on record and say that I'm all for action. I'm all for those storylines, and I love it as much as anybody. But you got to draw the line, and we saw it with a great guy, in my opinion, with the old Pink Panther, Bob. Known him for a long time. Great person, awesome to be around. There's not one driver in the pits that hate him, and I think that falls into side too. He seems like a very likable kid, but emotions get the best of us all. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for it. He needs to serve the absolute punishment, whatever is given to him. Um, but when he did it, he knew. You know what's coming. And I guess Reitzel's got a pretty bad name for himself out there. If he's not trying to be this villain part, dude, he's lucking into it. He needs to run with it. You guys need a villain, especially for the posse. Posse's got to hate somebody, and he needs to be the guy. So
Just seen today that there's some rumors going around about Tony Stewart Racing making an announcement on who they'll be putting in the car for next year. A lot of talk about if Tony was going to continue racing on with sprint cars and his involvement with dirt racing. If anybody watched Michael Rigsby interview with Tony at Eldora, that's not true. Tony shared that he is still passionate about dirt racing, wants to be around it for a long time. Seems like he's kind of closed those rumors down that he'll just shut down at the end of the year. We've talked about Donnie getting the boot from this team, and some of the guys that might be a fit for this ride. What do you think, CushnBangn, on your part? Who might be a good fit to run for Tony?
all right, we're gonna play a game. You got a piece of paper and a pen in there?
Yes, yeah.
Hey, who your pick is down that paper. And let me know when you're ready. On the count of three, we're both gonna show them to the camera. Tomorrow, when we wake up, maybe we'll figure it out, right? So this is a harmless. This is not starting any rumors. By the time this airs, it'll probably be announced or close to it. One, two, three. Oh, the background. Oh, okay. All right, let's talk about it. You don't think Hottie's going to that ride?
Well, I'm glad you bring up Haudenschild because, well, if you follow his wife on social media, they were kind of doing a tease about what would be a car that would be a good fit for Sheldon, and he was putting on different hats, and one of them happened to be the 15. But there's a lot of speculation on where Sheldon goes, and well, here's some concept designs I put together on two rides I think Sheldon would be a good fit in, and that we bring it up about the Donnie Schatz, his old number 15 ride rebranded as the number 14 for Tony. I mean, I could see it happening.
Hmm.
I just think Spencer Baston, he seems like this guy that just finds a way to get these top rides. And I don't want to, speculate the daddy's money scenario and all that stereotypes, but Spencer's a good guy and he's had a lot of opportunities. Maybe Tony takes a gamble and brings Baston in and runs his car for the Outlaws. I mean, Sheldon's kind of been critical about High Limit, so I don't know. Maybe he does go to Tony Stewart and they still stick with the Outlaws, or maybe the KCP 18 because that's another ride that's open right now.
So I'm not as invested in this as you are, and that'd probably change my opinion. But man, outside looking in, you've had shots in that car for 8 years. You shocked the world and kicked Donnie out of that ride.
Mhm.
You're doing it for what reason? You want to fucking win races, right?
Mhm.
You have the top free agent we're probably going to see in a long time. A young kid, hungry. Tony should get behind it 100%. Put his ass in the car. You got the best car in America? Let's see it. You think Shots was that bad in your whip? You got the best shit? Put the best driver in it. Let's see if you can win races. I don't care what series. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think World Outlaws is gonna go down without a fight losing that 14 car though. I'll put that on air. But once again, your pick is not out of basis, but man, come on, Tony.
Yeah, and we've had other guys like Gio Selzy, who was in that KCP 18 car on the right there, who could be another candidate. But from what I hear, that Gio isn't going to be going to that car. I mean, it's not official yet, but um, if it's true that they're making an announcement tomorrow, just stay tuned because I know whatever happens, this is going to be a domino effect. There's going to be a bunch of rides
Mhm.
opening up, people calling for next year already. I know we've been sending each other photos back and forth, text message on cars for sale, engines for sale. People are making moves already for next year.
So a lot of things moving around. Marler was the first domino, right? Rumors are swirling. They're swirling hard, and I'm just repeating the rumors. I'm not siding with any of these. Big Perm, Dalton Wilson out of JAR or JRR. Not too surprised at that one. He's had a shit year. I think a lot of it is not his fault, but maybe they're moving on to something different. Rumor for going in there, Josh Rice. Yeah, I was kind of mind blown when I heard that one too. Kind of blew my mind. I thought he was going to be a regional family car till the day he dies. Uh, Go for it, man. Give it a shot. Man, we're going to rip the big one off. I don't even know if I want to talk about it because I'm going to catch so much shit for this. But Longhorn House Program, Briggs Racing, Brandon Overton, absolute ass almost all year. Just call it like it is. He's a great driver. Maybe the program isn't fitting. Maybe it's the reason why Brandon left. Brandon's starting to look kind of smart, right? Um, I don't see that ride happening next year, and I don't see the partnership of Longhorn and Riggs staying together. I don't want to start any political drama on it or anything like that. I'm strictly a fan with no knowledge whatsoever, but it's hard to see, and knowing a little bit of the business aspect of it, of that still working with shit results. The Longhorn house car is not even a top 10 Longhorn in the country. That has to be fixed. What do you think?
Well, all I can say is I think it's fitting that 76 has Dude Wipes as a sponsor on the car, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And hot sauce right before it, right?
Definitely speculation on a lot of things. Obviously, it's all rumors until official statements are out there. But yeah, definitely a lot of guys that might be on the hot seat that we might not know about yet. But I think this might be a little bit of a domino effect, just like the sprint cars. Marler, Skyline, they part ways. It was a surprise, but not a surprise. I mean, it came at a time where I thought Marler would just finish out the year at least. Kind of parting ways now was kind of a I don't know, maybe setting up for that Delk ride for the rest of the year and then the following year for a pick and choose schedule. It just seems like it was coming at a time where maybe Marler was just going to retire at the end of the year. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, no, I definitely think That it's the cruise control program for sure. I think he's going to start getting to the picky and choosy. He's going to pull, the Madden card a little bit, and he might come back for a solid month and a half. But he's not going to chase anything, and it's definitely the downhill of his illustrious, well-deserved career.
And I kind of already know this answer to this question, but who you might think that be a good fit for the Skyline ride to be paired with Tyler Bruning?
Nerdy, baby. Come on, he's the most talked about driver. His name came up in this rumor. Um, Put him in the car. Everybody in the world wants to see it. Put his ass in. The kid won 100 grand in street stocks. He's supposed to be the second coming of Jesus Christ himself. Put him in the car.
All right, so getting to one of our meme daddies that are featured on this episode, coming from CushnBangn himself. He put this image here with when that guy you hate talks shit in Victory Lane. Obviously, if you pay attention to country music, Zach Bryan and Gavin Adcock had some beef. See here that he jumped over the barbed wire fence. I thought this was a funny pairing here that you did.
Yeah, I try to connect, the recent news and everything like that. Sometimes my creative brain is on, and sometimes it's shut off. So I'm only as good as the information up here in the old wizard. But I saw this and I saw that picture. I'm like, oh, I can do something with this. And I think Tony was in the comments. He says, yeah, Lucas Lee in Victory Lane. Yeah, boo y'all. This is when everybody in the stands wanted to do that. He took out Troutman, what East Bay, I think, dumped
Yeah.
him and got by and just went off on normal Lucas Lee behavior.
And not too long ago, I think it was a couple months ago when he went off on Chase Holland too. He's
Yeah.
kind of like Chris Madden. He just has beef with everyone, right?
Yeah, he's always fast though. Same with Madden too. He's always fast and he just pisses you off that he's that fast. But uh every division, I guess, needs a villain.
Appreciate everyone for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, share our content. Make sure to tag us any funny memes or any tweets that you want to be featured on our channel. Notes have been a little bit dry lately, just with the craziness going on in the world. So definitely be careful, be safe. Remember, support your local dirt track. Go take your mind off of things. I know CushnBangn, you had some good words about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Take time out, appreciate everybody you're with and just get out and get some fresh air. So no political sense here, but a father lost his will to live for the rest of his family, and regardless of what you think, it sucks. So get over it. Let's move on and always remember.
Don't send death threats or any hate mail to Kaylee Bryson either. Not cool.
Yeah, no, she'll fuck you up too.
So definitely check out dirtdiecastdeals.com. Use our code DIRTX to get 5% off. Make sure to check out all the new merchandise. I know CushnBangn's been a big customer of his. Got some
Hmm.
newbies in there.
Yeah, I got a bunch of new shit here, so be responsible.
We appreciate everyone's support, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.